lesson on naming numbers, okay?
Okay.
So what I want to do is I want to name all the numbers that I can name, okay? And sort of not just combinations of the same thing, okay? I want to name different numbers with different words, okay? I want to name the ones that I can name for now, and then I want to see what.
What are we doing?
Yeah, which ones don't have names, and we can make up their names and see if they already have names, okay? So we have one, yeah?
Yeah.
One.
1, 2,
1, 2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7.
7.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna go through a lot of numbers? I know when we go to the numbers, we don't know the name. We just make up the name.
We try to we try to guess what the name might be and see if there is a name, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so I have 8, yes?
Yeah. 9.
Alright, you already know 9.
10.
10.
11.
11, yeah, so that's different still.
12.
12, yeah.
13. I also have another question.
Yes. 13.
So we also have to figure out why the numbers name are like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's not so clear, but we can see if there's a pattern in the names, okay?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know what any number's called.
Yes, you do. Okay, let's have a look. So there's some, we definitely don't know all of them, but we did know. So 14. So here, I'm not going to name all of these because 14 is starting to repeat this pattern, right? It's just 4 plus teen, yeah?
Yeah.
So 15, it's still technically a little bit different.
16. 15, but the fifth means 5, right?
Yeah, 16.
17.
17.
The teen is 10, right?
Yeah, the teen stands for the teen. 10, right? 17.
Yeah. 18.
8. So we're actually repeating sort of 7 and teen, see? So that's not the kind of numbers we want to talk about. So the 16 is like that, 18 is like that, 19 is like that, right?
Yeah.
The 20 is the next one that's different, okay? And so even though, so we get 20, yeah? Okay, that's actually different. It's 2 10s, but it's said in a funny way that it's kind of like a different word, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then we have this one. Okay, 21, I don't think of as a new word because it's just 20 and 1, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need 21. So we can have like ... 22, 23. So
No, 30.
30, it's kind of, yeah, so 30. It's kind of different, yeah.
It's like counting by tens right now.
Yeah, so exactly, counting by tens right now, okay? Because 31 is basically 30 and 1, right?
Yeah.
So the name hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So then
10,
we get to
20, 30, 40.
So we get to 40, okay? And 40 is different, okay? Because it's even spelled different.
Yeah.
Oh, oops! I wrote the word 40 too high. I want 40, yeah.
50.
Actually, is 40 with a U? I don't know. 50. It's sort of different.
60. 60.
60, yeah. So now.
70. Oh, there's a 6 in it and there's a TY.
Yeah, so it's slightly repeating now the rule, okay? So
70. And then 70, yeah, it's like repeating.
70.
And then 9.
Yeah.
T. And then, 100
80,
is a 1.
90, 100. So actually, all these can be skipped in this
So
kind of.
when we're done 30, 40, 20, 50, we could do all the other numbers that repeat like the teen and 4 and the
100. Okay.
100. Yeah, 100 is like 100.
Yeah. But there's 110. These are all repeated words, okay?
Yeah.
So what we want now is to do, so not 110, 120, 111. 200 is just 2 and 100, right? So now we want the next one. What's the next one then?
200.
No, because that's 2.
101.
No, see, that's 101. See, we got 101. See? Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is like really fast counting now, yeah?
Yeah.
See, even 200 is not.
It's like skip counting, and it's skip counting, and it's a faster way.
Yeah, so what happens if you get to 1,000? So 1,000's different, yeah?
Yeah.
But see, all the numbers in between are like 898.
Oh, 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. Okay, so we've got dot dot dot. 1,000, okay? Yeah. So I might write 1,000 here. Okay.
Yeah.
So then there's 1,001, 1,002, 1,100. Yeah.
Let's a really, really big number. Googolplex.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get to. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. Googolplex.
Okay, but there's lots of things in between, right?
And 1,000. There's a lot of thousand stuff. It's like 100,000 and so much.
Yeah.
And then when you pass all of that by counting.
Yeah. So you said there's 10,000, 100,000, right?
Yeah.
So 10,000, 100,000 is 1,000 plus is 1,010 and 1,100, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to list those, but
like this: 100, 10,100, 100,
yeah,
1,000, 10,000.
Yeah. So those are all. See, those are all using words that are already here, right?
Yeah.
So what's the next number that doesn't use any of these words?
I guess 1,000,000.
1,000,000, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's got 6 zeros, okay? So 6 zeros call it 1,000,000, yeah?
Yeah, but so when you do 1, 2, 3 zeros, you put a comma and 3 more zeros, I guess.
Yeah, so we don't use commas because we're already using the commas and it's a bit confusing. We might leave a bit of space, okay, yeah?
Okay.
Yes?
I don't know why I draw meat.
Neat. Okay.
Anyways, so the gap is for the comma, right? I guess.
Yeah, the gap is where the comma would be if you're writing 1,000,000 with commas, the
Yeah.
3 zeros. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually funny. In some places, if you do the comma, it means differently. It means the same as the dot. So if you do the dot, it means like the comma. So you accidentally you want to transfer like 1,000, like $1 something. It actually transfers $1,000 or something. Okay, they have 1,000,000, yeah.
Now I like counting by 10. So you pass 90, go to 100, then 1,000, and then 1,000,000.
Yeah. So
And
see
then
if you go.
1,000,000,000.
Okay. So if you go 1,000,001, 1,000,002, 1,000,003.
A billion.
So that's all going to repeat, right?
Yeah, it's all repeating.
The words we have.
Million. But it's a billion. And then you're going to a billion. I mean, a billion.
Yeah. So even like 9 million.
A billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then you go to a trillion, right?
Yeah. See, like there's lots of numbers in between, right? There's like 10 million, 100 million.
No,
right?
This. You go.
Yeah, but those all repeat.
Ones.
Yeah, exactly. So those repeat all the words, okay? So the thing that will come up next is 1 billion. How many zeros is in a billion?
How much zeros is a billion?
Yeah.
7. Wait, no. 9.
9. 1, 2.
Because I guess if 1,000 was 3 zeros, it add 3 more to a million. I guess it adds 3 more.
So you know that a billion is 1,000 million, right? And then we have another word for it, yeah?
1 trillion.
1 trillion. Ah, okay. So you know the next one.
12 zeros, right?
Yes. Okay, good. So we have 12 zeros now.
Oh, wait, you have to put 6 plus 6 equals 12. So there's like 1, 2, 3.
Trillion.
There's 3 commas, right? It's like this.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 commas if you were to commas.
6 plus 6 equals 12.
6 plus 6 is 12. I don't know if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
trillion is 1,000 billion and it's a million million, right?
Yeah, so it's like when you have 9 zeros already, you add 3, you get 1, and then the other 2 will be for the 10 because the other 2 are 12.
Yeah.
9 plus 3 is 12. Right now we're just saying pluses. We should get onto our business.
So okay, what's next?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It is 1 quadrillion.
Oh, quadrillion, okay. How many zeros is that?
15.
So another 3 zeros, yeah?
So
I'm gonna introduce something to write to make it easier for me to write, okay? I'm gonna write 10, okay, and I'm gonna write 15 at the top for a number that has a 1 followed by 15 zeros, okay?
Okay.
So see, that's much easier to write. So that's a quadrillion, okay?
And it's more easier to write a googol because it has 100 zeros, and you can just write a 10 and then 100 at the top.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. We haven't gone to that yet, but so 100 doesn't seem to be divisible by 3. So okay, so we have a quadrillion, yeah?
Yeah.
You have a quadrillion 1, quadrillion 2.
No,
You know, you can have,
this.
yeah.
It is 1 googol.
So it's not quite 1 Google. I think I know some numbers in between that.
If we could guess the name, then we know how much zeros it's.
But can you see a pattern? Actually, there's a pattern here if you understand words a bit better. See,
Hey,
million is like a mil is like a 1, right? A buy.
I know what's next. 16 zeros. Oh, I get it. It's 16 zeros. It's like an
No, not 16 zeros. Look, so like me or my is like myself, like one person, right? Billion is like buy, like bicycle, 2 people, right?
Yeah.
Try is like 3, like triangle, tricycle.
Oh, yeah.
See, quad is like quadrangle, quadrilateral.
A quadrilateral is
4.
a shape that has 4
sides, yeah? So the next one is kind of, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this, the name is not repeating. It's not repeating, but it's got a pattern, yeah?
It's a pattern.
So we need something that has to, so the next thing, okay, is, can you see how many zeros the next thing should have?
It should be 18.
18 has 3 more zeros, right?
Yep.
Okay. And the name, it should end in illion, okay?
Alien.
So this is like what systematic naming means. It kind of follows a pattern, right? So illion, but it's something that means 5, okay? Remember? Because 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, so I means 5.
No, we need something that means 5 to go here, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think what goes here is quintillion, like
Billion.
quintillion means 5. We'll check that at the end, but
Or we could go to Google and check it at the end.
yeah, exactly. I want to check what Google says at the end, okay?
Okay. Let's do Google.
But the nice thing about the pattern in the names is we can come up with a lot of the names.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually,
Google.
how many zeros in the next one? Do you know?
The next one is 21.
Yeah. So now it's 21. So we never got to the 20s, but now we're doing 21. See, we're doing it in a higher way.
I know.
So it's going to end in illion, okay? So we know it should end in illion, and I think it's going to be some word that means 6, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So 6 is sextillion, okay? So
sextillion, because it's like hex means 6, right?
yeah, so maybe it could also be hextillion.
So it's So it has an EX. It's for hex.
Yeah, so we'll check up these words. Maybe I can check up. So you can tell me what happens next. I'm going to check up some of these words as we go. Actually, I kind of want to see how many we can get without checking stuff off.
Google.
Yeah, not a Google. Yeah, look, we're at sextillion.
Yeah, and it's still a long way.
So
to
how
Google.
many zeros would be the next number?
100.
Yeah, so obviously, see, if you want to name numbers in between those numbers, it'd be like 100 quintillion,
Yeah.
and 1,000 quintillion is a sextillion,
And
right?
we are already to 21 zeros. Not even. We are not even close to 1 zero.
Yeah, so if there's 22 zeros, that'd be 10 sextillion, right?
Actually, it's 23 zeros.
Then it'd be 100 sextillion.
23 zeros means 2 more zeros.
Yeah.
It's 20.
So actually, we don't even really need sextillion. We can just say 1,000 quintillion, right?
Yeah.
But
It's 23.
we have a pattern of naming 1,000 something with
23
a
zeros.
So 23 would be 100 sextillion, okay? So what's the next number of zeros? Up to 21.
It's a 24.
Yeah, 24. How would I write it?
So do a 1 and then a 0 and then the 24 at the top.
Oh, very good. Okay. And the name would have to be something that ends in illion, right?
Yeah, and then it can.
And what's the first part of the name?
Is next. Wait.
So what's the front part of the word? Like, we don't know what the front part is because you don't know that many words, but can you tell what it has to mean, right? So here it means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey, then it's a 7. So
7, yeah. So 7. 7 I think should be septillion. So that's weird because September is not the 7th month. It's July.
It's July, August, September.
Okay.
And yeah, July is and then up. So and then August and then September. So it's the 9th month. I mean, no, it's not actually. 9th of June is my birthday. Don't you know? I know that, of course. Hey, what you doing?
Yeah, so septillion, we're right so far. I checked that, we're right. And then quintillion.
Or septillion can be a different number name.
Yeah, and quintillion is 18, right?
What's septillion mean?
Quadrillion, let's see. Yeah, so we're right so far, okay? Okay, what's after this? How many zeros?
How much zeros after 24?
Yeah, or you could write...
It's 24 plus 2. It's 20. It's 20. Wait, 27.
Yeah, plus 3, yeah? 10 to the 27, and then we have... So that's... And so it's a word that has illion, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then what does it mean here?
So I know.
Yeah. 8. You say 8?
8 illion.
Yeah, so octillion.
Octillion. Oh, like octagon. It's in shape and oct means 8.
Yeah, or octopus.
Oh, or October.
Yeah, so October is a bit weird, I guess. October, see, September is also a bit weird. So maybe when there were less months, October was the 8th month. But it's also, I think, maybe named after, like...
Or in the olden days, and no one was alive, maybe it was
Octavius?
Like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe people, like, inserted their names into the calendar because they thought they were important and it made the ordering bit funny. Yeah?
I know a number called octen.
Octen?
Yeah, that's a number with one quillion zero.
Oh, what? I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Well,
we'll keep going, okay? So what's the next one on this list?
The next one is 13 zeros.
Yeah, 30 zeros.
How did?
And what is, so can you tell me what?
How about? I mean, I have an idea for the 7 alien. Maybe it can be septillion can maybe be like several billion.
No, I guess these are all like US numberings, okay? So maybe in Britain they're not the same.
Oh, maybe.
So can you tell me what should go here?
9 alien.
Something that means 9, right?
9 alien? What? Oh,
Yeah.
My
So this is nonillion.
queen. 9
Nonillion, yeah? So like
No.
9-sided shape is called a non-gon, okay? A non-gon. Too loud, okay? Non-gon.
Non.
9, yeah? So this is actually a pattern now, okay?
Yep.
So what should I write here?
Hey, 34 zeros?
No, 34 zeros. See, it's all going up by 3, see? 32.
Zeros. It's not
And
counting with.
what do I write here?
So, alien first,
Yeah. At the end, yeah.
and then 1. Maybe 10 Goldie.
Something that means 10, right? So 10 is decillion, okay? So have you heard?
Decagon.
Decagon. 10 sides, yeah. Or decimal. We have counting in tens. It's decimal, okay? Yeah.
Like 1 trillion sides.
Yeah. Trillion sides.
Trillion. That's trillion.
Okay.
That's trillion.
So actually, I don't even know what the next one should be.
I think I know. Yeah, but we can figure one out for the 11.
So it should be 36. Okay, we got the hang of this now. It should end in illion, maybe. And it should mean 11.
I know.
Yeah.
It's 20.
20. So I know when it gets to 12, it's like dodecillion or something. I'm pretty sure. But when it's 11,
Or maybe it's, the number is just called alien, right? No, I think the number called billion, right? Billion has 36 zeros. A billion. Yeah, it has 36 billion. Oh, it has an alien. Great job. You know what? So, alien has 36 zeros.
okay, so it has a funny name. It's called undecillion, okay?
Undecillion.
So maybe this is like un for 1, des for 10, and illion for the pattern, okay?
Oh, I get it. So, un is 11. I mean 1, and a des is 10, and an alien is just the number for them.
Yeah. So undes would be 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm guessing that. So then you need 12, right? So 10 to the 30. So this is 10 to the 30.
I think I get it.
9.
Oh, I have a clue for this, you know. So maybe it can be. So maybe the ones that has patterns can help us because it can use the number and then use the
Yeah.
desk and then
Yeah.
like the set and then using the desk and the alien.
Yeah. Yeah?
I know a number has 39 zeros is billion.
Billion. Well, it has illion probably.
A billion.
And look, so if that's how 11 went, right?
Yeah.
Then we might try to do 2 10 illion, right?
Yeah. No,
So we could maybe like
billion.
something decillion, right?
So it's actually we can use we could use Shark. Shark. The 2 can be dark. I'm getting confused now.
Okay, the 2 could be like. So we don't actually know. It could be like.
Or maybe Trisdactylian.
Yeah. So if it's for 1, then maybe duo is for 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So duodecillion. So what's actually. So 10 to the 39 is called duodecillion. Yeah.
Duodecillion.
So we were right. Okay.
Oh yes.
And then
like duo.
10 to the. Tell me what. Yeah.
Duo showdown.
Yeah, duo showdown. Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's 2, right?
Yeah, duo is 2 people. Exactly.
Duo showdown.
Okay, and then there was how many zeros next?
How much zeros next? It's like 42.
42. Okay.
This one's getting harder now. Right?
Yeah. So it probably ends in an illion, right?
Yeah.
It's probably des, maybe. We don't know if it's des.
Yeah.
Tridecillion, something like that. And this has to mean 13, right?
Oh, yeah. I think for Dilio. No, I think.
Yeah, so it's actually tredecillion. So it's close to tri, yeah.
Oh, it's and tree and.
Yeah, so these are just conventions we make up, but like, hopefully, if the convention's good, we should be able to guess close to what.
46.
It's not 46. 46 is plus 4.
44.
That's plus 2. You need a plus 3, okay? That's 42 plus 3.
I'm thinking. 42 plus 3 is 45. Hey, don't say that!
Alright, 45.
You poopy!
Alright, okay, so it's maybe you can think it's decillion again for 10, and then you want a 4 now. So like quadricillion or fourth decillion.
Or maybe 14. Oh my god.
Okay, so this one is quafftuor decillion. That's interesting.
But there's not an alien.
Quafftuor.
Next is 48.
Yes.
Oh, stop. Yes,
Okay, so you want 15. So maybe quint or quintessilion or something?
This reminds me of a song like Despacito.
Right, this is not related, okay? Quindecillion. Quindecillion.
It reminds me of the fourth one.
See, quintillion, yeah, so that's quintillion, yeah, because that means 5, remember?
Yeah.
So now we have quindecillion, okay? So the next one should be like 10 to the
I don't know. It must be like
sextillion or
51 zeros, right? 51.
51, yeah?
Yeah. Let me see. 48 plus 3. I'm doing so much names.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of names, huh?
I'm learning so much names. 49.
Is there a name with 51 zeros?
40. If there were, but it must be because Google has 100.
Yeah, but maybe there's too many and the patent stops because people don't actually use these numbers, okay?
Marco, you're right. It's 40. It's 40. Or maybe, or we can like we can figure it out.
Yeah, maybe if we don't have one here, so
We're
hexadecillion.
doing Google, right?
Yeah, I want to see if there's actually. Oh yeah, there is a hexadecillion, okay?
Hexillion.
Hexadecillion, because
Oh,
it means
like-
16.
Like the SEX and then the HEX.
hexagon, yeah?
Yeah, hexagon with 6 sides.
Hexagon has 6 sides. Okay. So we're gonna have to eventually go on to the top here.
Hey, if we get to a Google, wow.
So maybe like what's 7? It'd be like heptadecillion or something.
We're gonna be tired when we go to a Google.
Yeah.
But I know really big number. Yeah, but I'm still so hungry. Oh my god.
So maybe we can stop that at that point, okay? And so that's as far as I know for the patterns, and it's not even easy to search it up.
39.
So in some sense, this pattern is almost like another way of saying it's starting to repeat, right? Because we stopped doing the numbers where the thing repeats. So now we're kind of just doing like, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 illion, right?
I think I get the pattern. So if the one has 48 zeros, I forgot the name.
Quintessilion.
54 zeros.
Yeah, quintessilion. So basically, so that's basically 5, 10, right? 6, 10. Then it'll be 7, 10, 8, 10, 9, 10.
So that means 5 to 54 zeros.
Yeah, so 54, we're going to stop right now, okay? Because 54 is just going to be 7, 10, okay? If it is.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. So it's like 48 is so the 48 zeros. It means 5, I guess.
Yeah, because it goes. So
and then the hex it means 6, so it's hexadecillion.
Yeah, so basically, because 15, right, times 3 is 45.
Yeah.
And 45 plus 1,000, so 45 plus 3 is 48, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the first 3 gives you a 1, right, million. The second 2 3s gives you billion, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're adding 2 lots of 3s more than 1,000. So that's the rule, right?
Yeah.
So whatever number goes here, you times by 3, and that's how many zeros you have on top of the 1,000, okay? Alright, so listen, okay? So we're going to stop that. We know the pattern. So we're going to go to this thing we were talking about, which is kind of cool, when there's 100 zeros, okay? So 10 to the power of 100. Okay, and we already know what that's called. What is that called?
Google. I'm not tired, but it just has an L, but with no E. If there was an E, it was the Google that you search stuff that you don't know, and it can help you stuff.
Okay, and what we learned Google was kind of interesting. Okay, Grandpa was telling us about that. Okay.
Yeah, it was like Google. You can Googleplex.
Yeah, so now we have another thing that's a googolplex.
Yeah.
So what is a googolplex?
So the plex is PLEX. So it just has a Google, but the plex joins.
Yeah, so I have googolplex, and how many zeros does it have?
It does have one. Hey, Google. No,
Yeah, it has 1 Google zeros.
What?
So another way to write, so we can write that another way. We can write 10, and then on top there's a Google, and Google is 10 to the 100, right? So we write 10 to the 100 on top.
Oh, it's like 10 and then 10 and then 100. It's like
Yeah.
It's like those 2 tens are cousins or brothers. 10, 110, 110,
Yeah.
110.
So that's the biggest number we're going to name, okay?
Okay.
But that allows us to sort of name a whole lot of numbers, because that's interesting, because what are we doing? We can kind of name, so you asked me another question before, right? You asked me, what's the name of a number with 1,000,000 zeros, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah?
Millionplex.
Yeah, so that's what this gives you. This gives you a way. So if you have Google zeros, this naming convention seems to be you have plex. Yeah, so if that's Google zeros, then it's a googolplex. So if it's 1,000,000 zeros, it could be a millionplex, right?
Yes, yeah.
So
Trillionplex.
yeah, so for every number, yeah, trillionplex. So for every number, all right, we also have the number with that many zeros as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be that number plex. So a millionplex, trillionplex, billionplex, quadrillionplex, quintillionplex, all these plexes, right?
I guess this video is gonna be so long.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, okay? But the thing is, like, if we continue this pattern, then we get all the way up to a googolplex as well, right?
Wow, you found a lot of numbers.
Yeah, so we can almost,
Use all the numbers.
so we can basically name all the numbers up to googolplex as well.
Yeah, but there's no older numbers. There's too much.
Yeah, so there's we can't. Yeah, so we
stops.
can't name all the numbers after googolplex, okay? But all the numbers before googolplex, we actually have a pretty good way of naming with the plex.
I know
Yeah.
what googolplex zeros and 1 billion.
Oh, I get it. So the
No,
plex.
if it has googolplex
Oh,
zeros,
I get it.
then
and
it-
billion.
no, it'd be called googolplexplex, or maybe there's another word for it. Okay.
Oh, actually, it's googolplex.
Or googolplex 2, googolplex 3, googolplex 4.
Yes.
Googolplex 5. Googolplex 7.
Oh,
Googolplex 8.
I'm getting a bit
Googolplex
more
9.
Yeah, so actually googolplexplex actually makes sense as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 10 to the googolplex zeros.
Yeah.
That's 10 to the 10 to the 100.
Yeah.
And that's googolplexplex. Okay, so that actually makes sense. Okay. So
And
if you,
googolplex.
so if you add a plex to the end of the word, then that, yeah, so if you add the plex to the end of a word that represents a number, then that number will have that many zeros, the same as the name that you added plex to.
Lot of numbers.
So if you want to name all the numbers up to that, okay, then you need to go beyond googolplex, okay?
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I think this will be the end of our lesson, okay? But look, so there's obviously the numbers go on forever, okay? It's actually not so obvious that it does, but at least it's obvious that it goes on for a long time, even if
Hey,
it's.
let's go to the last number.
Now, it will be very difficult to even get to the googolplexplex, okay? But
Let's go to googolplex.
so you can have googolplexplex.
Also, there's 3 plex. So
Yeah.
it's starting when you get higher and higher. It's starting to get easier and easier.
Yeah,
But
so maybe we
When
can
you
come
get
up with it.
higher,
Yeah, like we can come up with maybe a notation. It's like we can have like Google, right?
I have one.
Plex.
I have one. Elaine, googolplex.
And if there's like 10 plexes, maybe we can put this plex into the power of like 7. If there's 7 plexes, yeah. I don't know if that's actually valid, but I can look it up.
Yeah, but it's interesting. 100 zeros you have to write super long. So don't try that. You can try like 10 and then a small.
I know a really big number.
Oh,
Which
why
is?
so much questions? I'm already starving.
I
Okay.
have a really big number. Which
I don't know. So I didn't find this when I searched, but and you can not only you can count on forever, but you can even count on forever in this way, right? You can pet as many plexes as you want, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. What
Yes.
is this? I know a really big number. It says googolplex zeros.
Plex zeros.
Yeah.
Well, according to this, that's googolplex. Yes.
Really big number.
And if a number has that many zeros, then it's googolplex.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's 4 plexes, right?
4 plexes. So if you add a plex, then the number that you before you add the plex to, that many zeros is how many zeros there are. Okay?
So the zeros are plexes.
So once you say plex, then that number has as many zeros as the word before the plex.
Yeah.
I
Okay?
know what to do that number up there. You go 10, 100.
Yeah, so maybe as a fun problem to do, okay? Using this kind of stuff, maybe write the biggest number you can think of, and whoever writes the biggest number wins, okay?
Or you can do this. So when you do a Google, you can choose any number in it, and then
I know really big number.
Yeah. So you can do like million googolplex, yeah?
So if you put a million, it's actually a plex.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful, like if you do million googles, Okay.
Yeah.
Like where you put the plex, you put the plex after all of that, okay? Not like, and not with the Google plex, and then it's a million. Okay.
A really big number
Yeah.
is Google Plex zero.
No, Google plex zeros is Google plex. That's smaller than Google plex is what we had before.
No, it's just really simple because it goes 100 plexes.
100 plexes.
Yeah.
So that's Google plex. Oh, so that's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, oh, okay.
Actually, I'm not trying to say that. I'm actually trying to say trillion plexes.
Yeah, so you're saying Google plex, Google is to mean sort of like 100 zeros. So then you want like,
Hey, like this. It goes like 8, 7, 8, 110,000, 110,000, 110,000.
But I'm still hungry.
alright, I think it's time to go eat, okay? So,
Bye, guys.
alright, thanks for that. That was cool.
We love numbers.
Yes. Alright, thanks. That was good.